And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, BRimes.
All right, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for spending some time with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're powered by the Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. Top 10 songs of all time. We're going to debate that a little bit. Got a top 10. We might go a little past top 10 just to get for conversation's sake. We got Attorney Frank Miranda in studio with us. He is a litigator. He's a owner of a title company, and he's local right here in Tampa Bay. Frank Charles Miranda P.A. We are also going to be bringing on other expert contributors, contractors out in the field, making things happen in the real estate space, always helping you win in any marketplace. By the way, have you seen that Brett Favre documentary? Wow, they torched Brett Favre on that documentary. Pretty crazy. We'll jump into that stuff. Favre. How do you get Favre out of Favre? I don't get it. Top 10 songs of all time coming up. Feel good story of the day as well. A couple of hot listings. We'll jump right into it here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. My wife Lindsay and I own a top team. We're helping our sellers sell faster for more money, maximizing the exposure and the profit on the sale of your real estate. Our highest duty to our sellers is to provide maximum exposure. And of course, we're doing that through social media and, the MLS, Zillow, Realtor.com, all the major sites. But we're also doing that extra marketing with the radio talk show, broadcasting all the way down to Fort Myers, Naples, Marco Island, over to Fort Lauderdale, up to the Panhandle, and Orlando and beyond. So we're helping you win when you're selling. We're helping you win when you're buying and investing because we're expert negotiators. So here's a couple of hot listings. We'd love to help you when you're buying, selling, investing, or refinancing. We also have our real estate mortgage loan origination license now, so we can help you there as well. All right, 221 Howard Drive, one of our favorite listings right now. This is a $2.75 million listing on Bel Air Beach. Gorgeous property. Aaron on our team is doing a great job marketing this property. 5 bedrooms, 3 bath, 3,500 square foot, single family home, exclusive Bel Air Beach location, gorgeous 3-island kitchen with Thermador appliances. And this is offered through Keller Williams Luxury International Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. 1 block to beach access where you can have access to the sugar sand beaches of Pinellas County, dolphin-filled waters. Great opportunity to buy real estate. 221 Howard Drive, Bel Air Beach, Florida. We also have another property at Magnolia Island Boulevard, 17416. Another $1 million listing, just shy of $1 million. This one's 5 bedrooms, 3 full bath, 2 half bath, 2-car garage, 3121 square feet, 1 acre of land, private community. This is a guard-gated private community, 30 homes in that entire community. So it's a rare gem at an excellent price. Check out 17416 Magnolia Island Boulevard, Claremont, Florida. If you're buying, selling, investing, we would love to talk to you. You can see all of our listings and hit us up online, consumerqb.com, and also for our real estate site, platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, quick shout out to Satellite Phone Store. If you don't have a sat phone, you might want to take a look at getting one. They're perfect for different occasions. You're going out deep sea fishing. You're going up hiking out in the mountains, or maybe possibly for a potential for attacks. You never know. Satellite phone is good to have. Sat123.com/REQB. That's real estate quarterback. That's going to get you the special discounts that we've negotiated from the Consumer Quarterback Show. Sat123.com/REQB. Make sure you're able to be in touch with authorities and be in touch with your other friends and family. All right, Attorney Frank Miranda back in studio with us. Frank Miranda, welcome back, sir.
Hey, Brandon, thanks for having me again.
Yeah, my pleasure, man. So what are you seeing in the space? So you cover litigation, a lot of real estate law. You also have your exciting new company too, where you're representing athletes. So a lot of good stuff happening, man. What are you seeing out there?
I thought we were going to talk about bands.
We got that coming up. Hey, that's our tease.
Down that rabbit hole.
That's a radio tease. We tease that for the next segment.
That's called the hook.
Yeah, that's the hook and the tease. We're going to tease them for that. But what do you think about the Bucks draft?
I think the Bucks draft was a bit surprising with their first pick, but you can never have too much offense. The problem I worry about is their back seven. I mean, they have an aging linebacker who's an all-pro, and they have someone that's it looks like to be a good player next to him in Searcy. But behind those guys, I don't know if we have much depth, number one. Number two, I think so. Year after year, we're looking for that edge rusher. I don't really know if we've got him this year's draft, but we certainly made an emphasis of that. The problem I see, though, I think we got some corners in the draft, maybe.
Yeah, they did pick up a
couple
DBs. Yeah,
and then so I'm worried about depth at the corner, starters at the corner, and I'm worried about depth at safety too. So their back seven, I think, needs to be addressed some. They certainly can do it through free agency. Still, they probably can do it through acquiring players that were either cut from other teams,
right?
That for whatever reason, salary cap reasons or whatever, would be a fit here. And so they still have an opportunity to improve that area. But yeah, I think that overall they did a good job. Yeah,
it's interesting too. They picked up that 400-pound mini refrigerator, they call them.
He is losing weight quickly.
Is he?
Yeah. And ironically, I had dinner with someone from the Buccaneers 2 days ago, and he's dropping weight. He's still going to be a force. I mean, I don't think the tush push is going to work too much in Tampa with him and Vita Vea. And so I think those two guys could be really formidable. And so that young man, I wish him the best of luck. I hope he gets down to the weight they want him to get down to. And, hopefully he can contribute.
Yeah, and that tush push, they might be outlawing that. I haven't seen if the vote happened.
It did happen. It happened, I think, yesterday. No. It's still in.
It's still in.
Yeah.
They allowed it.
They still allowed it. There were a couple votes short.
So they still allowed it. So he's a Philly fan, I guess.
Yeah, Philly fan over here's got the thumbs up.
Yeah.
Dave, I think we might have been the only team to stop it.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Hey, bring it.
If everybody can do it, they just fail at it.
Yeah, it's just a little more rugby-ish to me. It's not. It's a little more rugby-ish, right?
Hey, it's a niche play. They figured it out.
Yeah.
Tip your cap.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like that play. You remember, you see some of these videos. Pop Warner kids will do it. The city leagues where the kids acts like, oh, he's coming off the field. The kid's coming off the field.
Yeah.
But he doesn't go off the field, and he's like, they hit him deep with a bomb.
Hey, you brought me the wrong ball, and they snap it to him, and he walks to the sideline, and then he runs for a touchdown. Right.
You know what we used to do back in the day? Speaking about gimmick plays, we'd do a quarterback sneak on touch. So the line would go up, they would just be all set, and then right when I touched, they would just go because they're all expecting you to say down, set, hut.
Right. Right.
They had a little gimmick.
You just got to catch them not ready.
Yeah,
right?
That's right. So hey, it's strategy. I get it. All right, when it comes to law, what kind of strategy you're looking at? You got landlord-tenant conversations, situations that come up, I'm sure, a lot.
Yeah.
You have you're not seeing much foreclosure activity, right? I mean, short sales, foreclosures, you're not seeing a whole lot of that now, are you?
I'm not. I think the banks have that scenario going on. It's pretty much not being reported. I think what banks are doing now, they've learned a lesson from 2007. They don't want this massive amount of inventory that they're going to try and deal with. So I think what's going to happen, I think predominantly it's going to happen on the commercial side because a lot of commercial loans are coming up on balloon basis. They're going to try and restructure the deal with the existing borrower instead of saying, hey, go out there and requalify. They might tweak some of their qualifications so they make sure that these borrowers are not in default.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're going to try and do this go-round. They may have learned a really good lesson in 07, 08 and that time period where, it was a bloodbath, quite frankly. And so I think they figured out it's better for everyone if they can keep someone in the property and paying something toward it. And we'll see what goes on from there. But I think that's the game plan, I believe, from banks.
Right on. Yeah. Hey, if you can work it out, keep people in, you're going to save a lot of attorney's fees. You got to go in and repo the property. A lot of times those people are upset. They're going to leave it a mess or make it even a worse mess. So
they don't want property.
Yeah, if you can, and they're not in the business. That's not what their core is, right? So I want to get to seller-held mortgages, private-held mortgages as well. But this was an interesting headline. I saw this out of Fortune. Mansion sales are booming as the rich seek shelter from trade war fallout. Real estate is safer. Home sales above $10 million have shot up recently, according to Wall Street Journal's analysis of real estate data that coincides with part of President Donald Trump's trade war. I love how they call it Trump's trade war. He's basically renegotiating deals that should have been renegotiated for many, many decades, but pushed down the line. That's why we have how many $1 trillion in deficit are we at right now? 37 trillion. So you look at the whiplash in financial markets, stocks crashed, rebounded sharply as high as tariffs. And then here's where it talks about the U.S. housing market remains largely frozen, but mansions have been hot lately as wealthy Americans turn high-end properties amid market volatility and economic uncertainty. So when you think about that, what comes to my mind, Frank, is that homestead, the ability to protect assets underneath the homestead, right?
Yeah, there was a lot in that paragraph you read, from tariffs to what you just mentioned, but there was a lot of information there. Yes, in Florida, your homestead's protected from creditors, with the exception of, obviously if you voluntarily put a mortgage on the property, or if in a criminal act you use the gains of a criminal act to go ahead and acquire your residential homestead property. And then the federal government can come in and say, no, we're not going to let you do that. We're going to take it. Certain tax problems can go ahead and cause you to surrender your homestead. Now, I think that's not as easy as it sounds, but it can be done. So aside from those very narrow situations or exemptions, a credit card company you might owe $100,000 to, or a line of credit you might owe $10 million to, they're not going to get your house.
Right.
They can't force you to sell your house to get it. So, in Florida, you have a historical record of real estate going up year in over year in. Yes, we've had blips, but that's been minor corrections, and then it continues to go up. So
right.
I think people are coming in here saying, "Hey, look, if I need to park money because I don't want to put it I don't want to put it in markets. I don't want to put it in any kind of the type of investment. I don't want to buy gold. I don't want to buy crypto." Real estate in Florida is not a bad play. You're not going to lose it, and then you can always check out, and it's going to be protected, especially if it's your homestead.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's definitely what people are doing. Here's an interesting headline, too. 8 California housing markets are among the nation's top 10 priciest. So when you get into the top priciest, so there's one in Florida. Let's start with California first. Southern California, Anaheim is the highest second-priced home, single-family home at $1.45 million median. That's the median price point. San Francisco, 1.3, and then right on down the line, of course, we know California is super expensive. Honolulu, Hawaii, and Naples, Florida were the only 2 non-California housing markets that made the top 10. Honolulu landed at 4, while Naples ranked at number 9.
So what's that per square foot? Like $1,200 a square foot?
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's up there, man.
Because some of those houses you look at on one of those TV stations about, hey, we're going to rehab this house, and it happens to be in California, and it looks to be like a 13 or 14 square foot house. It's not very big.
Yeah, 1,300 square feet.
Seven figures for it. So
yeah,
I don't know how they're affording these type of houses.
What do you think Naples, Immokalee, Marco Island median home sales or home price is?
In Naples?
Yeah, Naples. Home price for Naples. They call it Immokalee, Marco Island. Now, that's a big difference
currently, right?
Yeah, that's a big difference between Naples and Immokalee, though. Immokalee's more country. That's kind of like
difference.
That's like LaBelle to Fort Myers. But
I'm going to guess
median home sales price
1.85,
$865,000. $865,000.
Way over.
But annual increase is 1.8.
That was way over.
But yeah, California. Honolulu is 1.165 median house, so over $1 million for a median home sales price in Hawaii, $1.165 million. And then San Diego's up there, nice place. I've been there, just over $1 million. So yeah, 8 of the most expensive though in California. What does that tell you about the state, man? They got trouble out there.
Well, it tells you there's too many people living there. Maybe. Okay, let's just start with that, because it's just supply and demand. And so if there's more people that want houses than there's houses, of course it's going to be expensive. I don't care where it's at. You could be in a red state, blue state, green state, purple state, doesn't matter, right? Mm-hmm. So I think it tells me there's a lot of people living there. I don't know how they can afford anything, because in that particular state they have a ton of taxes. And so when you're talking about your net bringing home, you still then you got to pay your mortgage payment, your taxes, your insurance. That doesn't go away.
What are their taxes out there? Are they above 50% when you include everything?
I would guess, and I don't know this, that the real estate taxes can't be awful because they have a state income tax.
Right.
And so that kind of would offset the real estate tax burden, I would think.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they have a real estate. I guess some states who have income taxes, maybe they don't have real estate taxes.
Property tax, yeah.
Property tax. So, or maybe there's a combination thereof of the two.
Well, let's switch back to Florida. What do you think the chances are? By the way, I'm talking to Attorney Frank Miranda here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, FCMlaw.com, and I'm your host, Brandon BRimes. We're talking real estate here. What do you think the chances are? Because there's been the rumors in Florida that, hey, they may try to significantly reduce property taxes or potentially, eliminate them. What do you think the chances are, or have you seen that story at all or heard about it?
I've heard about it, but I think a lot of the municipalities and counties get a lot of that money. Right? And so how are you going to substitute it? Because obviously we want Tampa City Fire.
That's the question
Tampa
that
City
comes
Police.
up. Yeah.
And if someone says we can do it this way, and, let's do it, how else are you going to fund it? With a
Tourism is what I hear. Tax the tourist.
Well, it sounds great, but what if there's another, pandemic and no one comes?
Yeah.
How are you going to pay these people?
Yeah.
And so the question is, if you're wrong, how are you going to pay the government employees?
Yeah.
We need government employees. I mean,
yeah.
No one's going to say you don't need
It's
them.
a complex question. There's no doubt.
It's a really complex question. It's not an easy answer.
Yeah.
But you better be right. And I don't think, but if you put all your eggs in one basket, like say, hey, what if the tourists, we'll make them pay for it? Well, what if they don't come one year?
Yeah, well, I also hear recycling. Recycling is bloated. There's a lot of waste there, and it doesn't actually make it to an actual recycled product. I hear that, and then some other areas. But we got to get to our break here real quick. And when we come back, top 10 best songs of all time. Frank, you got some ideas for best songs of all time?
I don't know. I was thinking about bands, and so the top 10 bands have got to come up with the top 10 songs, right?
Yeah. We got some songs. We got some artists here. There's a little Michael Jackson in this mix, Metallica, Beatles. We'll be right back. Top 10 songs of all time coming up on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Follow us online at BrandonRimes1 at CQB Show, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. By the way, up 700% on our views from Q4 to Q1. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rimes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, Brandon Rimes here. Did you know that we buy houses cash? We will close quickly and give you a fair offer on your home or residential properties, even commercial properties, and we will give you a fair cash offer, close quickly, and be diligent when you're shopping these types of scenarios, because a lot of the wholesalers, the flippers out there, they will sign you up on an as-is contract, and they will shop that contract and try to find a buyer, but they may not find the buyer, and they won't close. So this is Brandon Rimes, 813-917-1894, ConsumerQB.com. Brandon Rimes, we buy houses cash and fast. Attention business owners, did you know we have 100% financing options available? Our no money down program offers 100% financing for business owners. If you are currently leasing your commercial space, you can purchase real estate for no money down. Additionally, the program offers money for working capital, equipment, and business fixtures. You can even pay off current business debt. Reach out at 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. BRimes at KW.com. And that is our 100% financing, no money down program for business owners. We would love to help you buying, selling, or investing in real estate. 813-917-1894. BRimes at KW.com. Ours Creole Smokehouse, the official Pinellas County restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Say hello to Doug Clark, chef and owner Doug Clark, 310 East Tarpon Avenue, Tarpon Springs, ourscreole.com. Ours Creole Smokehouse, 310 East Tarpon Avenue, Tarpon Springs, ourscreole.com. Excellent food, wonderful ambiance. Say hello to our friend Doug Clark.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Online at ConsumerQB.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, welcome back. Coming up, top 10 songs of all time here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're in studio with attorney Frank Miranda, FCMlaw.com. A couple of hot listings. We'll jump right back into it. So we've got a couple of commercial properties and some vacant land here I want to get to. 9594 Southeast Camp Road in Ocala, Florida. This is a great opportunity. $1.5 million listing from the Platinum MVP team. It's 5,725 square foot commercial building. Got an acre of land. It's a thriving hardware store with multiple income streams here that we have listed. The seller is motivated. He's willing to offer seller financing available with a strong down payment, multiple income generating opportunities. 9594 Southeast Camp Road in beautiful Ocala, Florida. 4798 Indigo Road in Groveland. This one's 42 acres. We've got 42 acres for sale with a 2-2 home on there. So it's ideal for a weekend getaway, a residence, or maybe a temporary base to develop. Buy some land and develop this beautiful land. You've got lakes and ponds on this beautiful property. Great opportunity. 4798 Indigo Road, Groveland, Florida. And if you're thinking about buying, selling, investing, refinancing, we would love to talk to you. And if you're listing with someone else, you're leaving money on the table. Platinum MVP Team. And see our website at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, Frank, let's jump into it. Top 10 songs of all time. Do we start at 10 or do we start at 1? What do you think?
I don't know.
Go straight from number 1?
It's a fantastic topic, but the problem with the topic is, how do you define it? Is it in the United States? Is it by genre? Is it by... Because
decade or whatever,
right?
Yeah.
Because everyone's got different kind of tastes. It's almost like looking at a painting and say, "I like this painting. I don't like this piece of artwork." Whatever the case may be.
I hear you.
It's very subjective.
It is. It is. It's fun to think about, though. It's fun to think about. I'm going to start at 11. It's not in the top 10, but it's just an interesting song. "Lose Yourself." Remember that one? Kind of a pump up song. Getting ready to go to the gym or you're going to play a game or something. It's like you got to put your all into that moment.
Great song. Is it top 10 worthy? You're talking 11. It's got to be millions of songs that have been written. So
yeah.
I think we got to start with the top 10 bands and say they got to come from there, right?
Yeah, maybe. But then you got your one-hit wonders like we were just talking about. You got one-hit wonders that may not, they just had that one hit. All right, here we go. Top 10. Number 10, "Sweet Child of Mine," Guns N' Roses. That's a top 10. Nothing comes close to this song. Every member of the band is one of the best.
What list are you reading off of there?
This is top 10s. It's a site called The Top 10s.
Okay, so
they must be good at top 10s.
But are we going to go just with these people's analogy? Or we're going to debate this.
Feel free to veto it. We only have a couple minutes. We got to get to it. "A Day in the Life," the Beatles. Okay, "A Day in the Life."
It's got to be a Beatles.
I would veto that one because I don't know that one. Comfort. All right, number 8. Comfortably Numb, Pink Floyd. There's Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd's got to be the top 10, one of their songs.
"Hey Jude," the Beatles, coming in at number 7.
"Hey Jude" has got to be, I think, considered to be in the top 10.
There. I mean, yeah. "Hotel California," cool song. The Eagles.
Yeah. Cool song, doesn't deserve to be in the top 10.
Okay, all right. Here you go. A little Metallica for you.
Yeah.
"One" is the song. 1.
10?
Metallica. That's
better songs.
Yeah, I like the other songs better than that one. All right, number 4, "Smells Like Teen Spirit," Nirvana.
Good song, not top 10.
Yeah, I hear you.
Of all time.
I agree. I'm not. That would not be my top 10.
YMCA
Imagine John Lennon.
Okay, hang on a second. Are we considering like Frank Sinatra and all those guys too?
Yeah,
like Elvis?
see, that's who's missed. Elvis is off the list. Johnny Cash is not on the list.
Imagine should be where it's at.
Elvis has got to be on the list all time, I think.
Yeah, they left him off.
Michael Jackson has to be on the list.
He's outside of the top 10. Zeppelin comes in at number 2.
Zeppelin's got to be on the list.
And then you've got Bohemian Rhapsody, Queen, number 1. Now this is the top 10s list. This is not our top 10.
You love that song or you hate that song.
Yeah, and I'd throw some other songs in here. Let's see who's not on the list. "God's Will," Martina McBride. So there's a country female artist that didn't make the top. Puppet Masters of Puppet, Metallica. "I Can't Get No Satisfaction."
Great song.
"Fade to Black," Metallica. "Billie Jean," Michael Jackson.
Rolling Stones have to be in the top 10.
What about Freebird?
Oh, Lordy, yeah.
Leonard Skinner. That's number 16.
My personal favorite. What about YMCA? That's
YMCA. There you go. All right. So there's your top 10.
Played at every wedding in the 90s.
Thank you.
Frank, final thought back to you. How can people connect with you, buddy?
They can call the office at 813-254-2637. They can shoot me an email at frank@fcmlaw.com. And we're happy to answer any question you have.
Real estate closings, real estate litigation, and all that good stuff. Talk to Frank Miranda. He is a longtime friend of the show, and we highly recommend. He's got a great office right here on Cypress as well, right here in Tampa, if you want to have a real estate closing there. Frank, thanks for coming in, man.
I appreciate having you.
My pleasure.
Having me.
All right, we got JD coming up and Thomas representing Friendly Pest Solutions. Also, Fred Muth, Tampa Screens Aluminum. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, we appreciate you spending some time with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. It really makes our day. I want to have these conversations and talking to listeners every day, by the way. Thank you for reaching out to the show, working on a couple deals right now. A gentleman named Thomas is working a couple deals with us, and we're working on a deal with Helen right now. So shout out to all of our P1 listeners out there. Appreciate it. Supporting our show partners, 80 different categories of consumer advocates here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. So we bring in all the best in Tampa Bay, home service providers like JD and Thomas here from Friendly Pest Solutions. We're going to talk with them right now. And then we've got Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum. Fred's been involved with the show about 10 years now, a decade or so. Some guys like that, Jay Smith, Captain Will Smith. So many, many different ways that we help you on the Consumer Quarterback Show. CPAs, financial advisors, attorneys, business brokers, of course, real estate and mortgage. We got you covered there. Title companies, we got you covered. Interesting too, if you think about it, we got all the transportation covered too, Dave. You know, we've got boating and yachting with Michael Johnson. We've got private pilots with Captain Will Smith and our other folks as well. You know, so Associate Auto Murphy Auto Group. So we cover a lot of different categories. That's the idea with the show. Reach out to the hotline. We'd love to plug you into our network at 813-917-1894. And 813-917-1894 and friendlypestsolutions.com. We're going to talk with JD and Thomas here in just a moment. Before we do, a couple of hot listings from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. 16625 Goose Ribbon Place, Mama. This is a beautiful smart home property, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, 1,844 square feet. You have a guard-gated community, access to volleyball courts, nature trails, dog parks, and a vibrant clubhouse. But my favorite part is that lagoon. Check out that lagoon. If you have kids, and look at that. You wouldn't have to leave the community. You're just hanging out at the pool. They've got a little beach area there, lots of refreshments, and what a cool place to hang out. Beautiful home there with a nice lanai, private fenced-in backyard. 16625 Goose Ribbon Place and beautiful Mama, Florida. That's Hillsborough County. That's southern Hillsborough County. Great opportunity to buy real estate right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. All right, we got a property here at 1210 Paradise Lake Drive. This one's Tarpon Springs, just right down the road from the Tarpon Turtle. If you ever had a nice meal over there at the Tarpon Turtle, this is right around in that neighborhood. You're close to Lake Tarpon there. Gated community, beautiful home, 4 bedrooms, 3-bath, 2-car garage, 2274 square feet, and you have plenty of storage there, fireplace in the kitchen, lighter color kitchen cabinets, stainless steel appliances, beautiful pool and spa package in the backyard, and it's screened in as well, screened in lanai, 3-car garage, 1210 Paradise Lake Drive, Tarpon Springs. Buying, selling, investing, refinancing, please hit us up on the website, platinummvpteam.kw.com. That's right. We got top 5 places to visit in Florida as well coming up, according to U.S. News and Travel. And before that, let's jump into it. JD, Thomas, welcome back in, fellas.
Thank you for the invite.
Appreciate you coming in. What's new in the world of termite and pest control, Friendly Pest Solutions? What are you seeing out there, man?
So right now, drywood termites are swarming pretty heavily in the area. So things that consumers can look for are frass, which is kind of like their droppings.
Okay.
It looks like coffee ground. So if you see signs of that on the inside of the home, more than likely you have a drywood termite infestation. Other things that they can look out for, when there is active swarms in the house, you'll see wings on windowsills or on the floor, things like that. And so, we encourage consumers to give us a call. We offer free inspections, and we'd be more than happy to go out there, identify the type of insect that you're dealing with, and go take it from there.
Yeah, you never know in Florida. I always recommend an upfront inspection. Whether you're talking about a home inspection with Jay Smith, a Snoop inspection, or we're talking about Friendly Pest Solutions here. Get that upfront inspection. Find it before the buyer does. That's such a key idea, right?
Very important. Very important. What I've learned is that homeowners don't need to have a termite inspection per se to buy a house, but I highly encourage it. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. If you're looking for a WDO inspection, there's a minor cost associated with it. whether or not you have signs of termite activity, and we could solve that before you actually purchase that home.
Right. Yeah, and you want to avoid any of those renegotiations. That's what happens. You have that renegotiation that happens if people wait to allow the buyer to do their inspections. Of course, they have the right to inspect. They have the right to do any of that. But if you can, as a seller, say, hey, look, we've already inspected it. Here's a report. Feel free to get your own. Here you go. Here's the data right up front that you're going to want to know. Because a lot of times these buyers, they're going from one property to the next. They're having a contract that falls out. So think about it. They're spending, $350, $450 on an inspection. Maybe they went to the WDO and they got a wood destroying organism report as well. There's another, whatever that costs, a couple $100, right?
Correct.
So you have these costs, and then to find out, oh, the property didn't pass, or there's an issue with the roof, it didn't pass the 4-point. Now, if you don't pass the 4-point, you can't bind the insurance, so you can't have insurance, and then you can't get a loan if you don't have the insurance. So it's now they got to move from property A and go back to a new, reorganize and go back out shopping again and start the whole process.
That's exactly the point. And a lot of homeowners actually don't realize that most homeowners insurance do not cover termite damage. And so that's where we come in, is we offer preventative measures to treat homes so that they don't deal with this type of stuff later on.
Yeah, and I can tell you firsthand experience, first class operation. All the techs that have been to my house from Friendly Pest Solutions are nothing but first class. They're very great manners, and they're just shutting the fences behind you, make sure the dogs get out, things like that. Those are the little things that you can expect from Friendly Pest Solutions. And talk about the subterranean, because I think that's what we have at my home, right? We have the little subterraneans in the ground, and how does that work?
That's correct. Yeah. So the subterranean termites, they practically swarmed in the beginning of January is when they started swarming, but they're always around.
Right.
It's estimated that there's 3 to 5 colonies per acre of land, and that number has actually risen in several years. So it could be more.
Yeah.
And so the bait stations offer protection for the home. The termites, as they randomly forage for wood to destroy, because they don't know the difference between a dead piece of wood on the ground and the 2x4s that your house is constructed with.
Yeah.
And so they randomly forage, they find our bait stations, they consume, take it back to the nest, and it eliminates colonies for years to come.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's great. If you just joined us, we're talking with JD and Thomas representing Friendly Pest Solutions, friendlypestsolutions.com. Longtime friends of the Consumer Quarterback Show. And yeah, it's an important part. All right, let's talk about our top 5 here. We got top 5 places to visit. You guys take many vacations? You're working all the time. You get to take a vacation here and there?
I love to go around, especially in Florida. I mean, there's so many nice places to visit, beaches and that kind of thing. So absolutely, yeah.
What's your favorite spot to visit in Florida?
We love to go to Anna Maria Beach.
Oh, there you go.
That area.
That's on our list.
There you go.
That's number 3 on the list. JD's favorite spot. Anna Maria Island, best places to visit. Tranquil Barrier Island, roughly 35 miles south of St. Petersburg. Perfect place to recharge your batteries. All right, there you go. Tom, what about you, buddy? Do you have a place in Florida you like?
Yeah, probably Key Largo.
Okay. We do have the Keys on the list. Number 2 is Islamorada.
Oh,
so that's cool. The next key over. Tavernier, I think, Islamorada. Yeah, so you're number 2. Made up of 6 islands, the Florida Keys, Plantation Key, Windley Key, Indian Key. All right, so you got basically the upper Keys, middle Keys, and then down all the way to Key West. Some people that haven't been, they say, I'm going to go to Key West. They say, all right, well, are you driving? Because get ready to take an extra 5-hour drive from Key Largo all the way to whatever it takes, But it's a 2-lane road, and they don't realize it's just a long 2-way stretch. So you might as well enjoy those upper to middle Keys versus taking the drive. Now, if you do want to party a little bit more, you got that little city down there that you can do that. But the people don't realize, and they really cool. Myers. That's a pretty cool thing. We've done that before.
Have you?
So it's a straight shot down on a big cat.
Oh, wow.
So it's like it makes the trip so much shorter because how the way the Keys kind of curves out to the west.
Yeah.
So it's a straight shot from Fort Myers down.
Is it a one-day trip?
Yeah, you're down there. they pick you up on Sunday or something like that. Say they're down there on a Friday, they pick you up on Sunday.
That's awesome.
Maybe something like that. But yeah, that's a cool way to do it. So we got our top 5 best places to visit in Florida, with over 8,000 miles of shoreline, and Sunshine State is a prime vacation territory, but so many diverse destinations it can be hard to pick the right place for your next getaway. That's why U.S. News considered factors like number of attractions, availability of accommodations, opinions of other travelers. And one of the things we look at, my wife and I, when we're planning, is are we close to a Freedom Boat Club location? Because we've been a member for over 10 years. They just had a party for some of the legacy members. But, we'll look for a Freedom Boat Club location. By the way, Islamorada has one. Perfect. So that's one of our places we go and stay. But, kind of combine that. You have a beach day, you got a pool day.
Boat day.
Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful.
Pool.
That's awesome.
Pool, boat. All right, so number 1, Siesta Key. Oh, yeah. Best place in Florida, they're calling it. Islamorada, number 2. Anna Maria was number 3. St. Augustine, really cool town, right? It's one of the, for the history buffs out there, it's one of the, should make a beeline for St. Augustine, founded by the Spaniards in 1565. This town in northern Florida, northern Florida, is the oldest continuously inhabited European settlement in the U.S., earning its nickname the Ancient City. So really cool to see some of those forts up there, too.
Very cool. Yeah.
Naples coming in as well. You've got Naples coming in at number 5. I actually lived in Naples for a while. Worked at the Ritz-Carlton down there back early.
Nice city. Very nice.
Really cool place. And then, so there's our top 5. There you have it, top 5. Key West is on the list down there. Orlando's on the list. Sanibel's down there. But a lot of cool places to go. It really just depends on what you're looking for in the state of Florida. All right, so let's go back. I want to get final thoughts. JD and Thomas, Friendly Pest Solutions. Final thoughts, nuggets of advice, words of wisdom, consumer tips.
Yes. Get a professional inspection done. At least once a year. It doesn't cost anything, and it gives you peace of mind. Let you know what's going on around the house. We check the inside, the outside. We inspect the attic. If you have a crawl space, we go underneath it and check the crawl space for you. But peace of mind goes a long way. Preventative measures is the best way to go. You want to try to get these guys before they do any damage, because at that point now you're going to have to pay for the treatment and also the damage they've done. And typically, on an average, you're looking at $7,500 to $9,000 of damage that they can cause.
Yeah.
So try to prevent that at all costs.
Yeah, that's a good tip earlier. It's not covered in your insurance policy, right?
Correct.
Unless you ask for maybe a specific policy or rider for that.
Correct.
Yeah, I would think most of the time it's not in the insurance policy. And that's a pro tip, too, because sometimes it's rising water, which is, considered flood. Sometimes you got wind, where you got wind blowing around, blowing shingles off, blowing, making holes in the roof. Now you got water intrusion. So read your insurance policy, know what's in that policy. Also understand that you have the right, you have the responsibility, rather, as a homeowner to preserve the property. So if there were, God forbid, an instance where you have a hole in your roof, water coming in, you are legally obligated to get a tarp and cover that up and minimize the damage.
Correct.
So I think that's a good point you made, JD, where certain things are in the policy that, and people sometimes make assumptions.
Yep.
And you know what they say about making assumptions. So,
that's right.
All right, final thought, Thomas.
Just save yourself from the financial burden down the road. It's better be prepared than have to pay for the consequences.
That's right.
Yep.
Just look out for any of these signs that JD went over. Little pinholes in your baseboards, frass on the ground, wings. Don't wait till it's too late, basically.
Yeah. And then, do you ever see where you get up in the attics? I had one house that it was infested with squirrels or whatever was living up there. You deal with that kind of thing too?
We do. We have wildlife, rodents, all types of stuff. We deal with exclusion work, you name it.
Good deal. All right, check them out online, friendlypestsolutions.com. Also on LinkedIn. You can connect there on LinkedIn with them. JD, Thomas, thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Brandon.
Appreciate it. My pleasure. All right, quick break. Right back. Coming back with Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum. He's our longtime friend of the show. Tampa Screens and Aluminum coming up here on the program. Follow us online. We'd love to connect with you at BrandonRimes1 at CQB Show. And I forgot to plug Brio Tuscan Grill, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Say hello to Chef Oscar Ramirez over there at Brio Tuscan Grill. Longtime friends of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Brio Tuscan Grill, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. We'll be right back.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
America First Patriot.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon BRimes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, welcome back. Brandon BRimes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. We're going to be talking with Fred Muth here, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show. And before we do, a couple of hot listings here. 10129 Little Road. This one is in Port Richey, Florida. Beautiful commercial listing. This is a great opportunity. Attention business owners, doctors, professional, chiropractic, dentist. This would easily be converted to any of those types of professional services. This is 10129 Little Road, Newport Richey, 2,300 square feet, over an acre of land. You're ADA compliant with your entrance ramps and bathrooms, over a dozen paid parking spaces, and you have a newer roof installed in 2020. Lit monument out by the road for high visibility. Check out 10129 Little Road, Newport Richey, Florida. Beautiful property from the Platinum MVP team. And you can see all of our listings. And if you're buying, selling, investing, refinancing, please give us a call. We'd love to talk to you. You can see all of our listings, platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, we're going to the phone lines here. Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum. Welcome back, sir.
Hi, Brandon.
Hey, how are you today, man?
I am doing very good. Never as good as you. I keep trying, though. You know, it's a lot of effort to keep up with you, buddy.
Well, I don't know. That's debatable, man. We'll have to debate that one day. We'll see.
We'll debate it this evening. I'll see you this evening.
Nice. I love it. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah. Boy, it's hot out there. Well, I'm out there measuring, and that's what I do. I measure, design, price, sell, etc. Our guys get up on top of these cages in this weather, and they have no problem whatsoever with it. It's amazing. My hat goes off to them guys, roofers. Our concrete people are out there doing their thing. I don't know. You think you could do it in this heat?
Oh man, I tell you, I could get it done if I had to, but I wouldn't want to.
Yeah, it's rough. And
a lot of work.
Of course, we have the hurricane season's coming up. People are beginning to be concerned about that. We get a lot of calls. How do we prep the cage? There's a lot of ways you can prepare your cage for the worst. And I always suggest, make sure where it's fastened, whether it's to the back of the house, whether it's to a super gutter, whether it's, how it's attached to the house. That's a connection point that is extremely valuable in our business. If that connection point has any type of compromise to it, the cage may go away, as well as the base. The base rail is attached to the masonry. We see a lot of them disconnect from the masonry. Say the cage is 15, 18 years old, and some of them screws and bolts, they rust out. Make sure they're tight. My suggestion is, if you're handy, go to Home Depot, go to Lowe's, get the Tapcons, drill them down, and just add more Tapcons to that bottom rail. Because every time we see a cage that goes away, it's a failure point either at the house connection or at the bottom rail.
And that's going to those Tapcons going to go right through the aluminum into the concrete?
Yes, the aluminum rail is a 1-inch high rail. Let's say you have thick pavers that before it goes into a footer, so you're going to have to figure 2 inches for the 2 1/4 actually for the pavers, 1 inch for the aluminum, and then you want to go into the concrete at least 2 inches. So you may have to get 5 or 6 inch Tapcons, but it's well worth it. You can basically rest when them winds start to blow, knowing that you reattached your bottom rail. Bottom rail is probably the weakest point.
Yeah. Now, Fred, I want to talk to you about take me back and talk about this panorama view, because the technology that you have to add those additional screen rooms, the pool cages on, it just looks amazing now. Then, if people haven't seen these over the last couple of years, the technology has improved substantially.
It has. It's very nice. You can open up the back. You can open up the entire cage. Panoramic would refer to all the walls on the cage, whereas the majority of the new builds that they want open view, we do open view on the back because basically the backdrop drops down to a golf course or a lake or, a beautiful backdrop coming off the back of your house. And we typically leave the chair rail off of the sidewalls. It gives it nice contrast because most people want the rear opened up. And it is more expensive to do that because the beam work and the structure is altogether different, as well as the fabric. The fabric has to be a poly fabric, a.k.a. super screen, which is a very, very strong fabric. They use that because that poly fabric is much more flexible than standard fabric. And believe it or not, the aluminum actually rocks and rolls. It moves in the heat. It expands and contracts. And when you have them very large openings, you want a fabric that's in there that can bend and go with the aluminum and not tear. And that's what that super screen poly fabric does. It's a very strong fabric. I'm going to have my enclosure rescreened next week, and I'm going with the poly fabric. It's just so nice, such a good quality product. But the open views, I get calls. People want to convert the existing, and they don't really have the engineering to take the back wall out of an existing and put a pano view in, because you have beam work at the top that doesn't marry into the new beam as well. So typically, if it's a cage that's 18, 20 years old or whatever, we end up replacing that cage with an entire new cage, open view back or pano all the way around. But again, it's pricey. It's not a cheap proposition, but it's a very, very pretty proposition. And I'm sure if you get out and you see you're listing houses and you see a cage with an open view or pano view on it, it's going to add value to the sale.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, when some people look at the ability to keep the insects out, the bugs out, and then also you have a little bit of SPF rating on those things, don't you?
Yeah, what happens in the industry, they actually sell what's called a shade screen that is listed as reducing ultraviolet light. However, all fabric has the ability to reduce UV, but the screen manufacturers, they don't really want you to advertise the standard fabric as a UV protective product, since they offer something with a 75 or 80% reduction. However, if you look at it scientifically, standard fabric may knock the UV down about 15%. And the optional 20/20, which is a tighter weave, that may knock it down about 25%. But again, the screen manufacturers, they don't like you to sell it that way. They like to tell you, solicit that by stating it reduces sunlight as opposed to UV. But you knock down sunlight, you're going to knock down UV. You know that.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. All right, TampaScreensAndAluminum.com, TampaScreens.com. You can talk to Fred Muth by reaching out to our hotline, 813-917-1894. We'll put you in touch with Fred Muth, Tampa Screens, 813-917-1894, TampaScreens.com. Also, Facebook.com/Tampa Screens. Fred Muth, thanks a lot, buddy.
See you tonight.
All right. Hey, another great show. Thanks to all of our producers. Thanks to you for making this show great, and we appreciate you. Please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. We'll see you next time. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rimes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.